This is the QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Jul Denjai. Thank you for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. The ambassadors of Chad, Spain and the UN resident coordinator presented their letters of credence to President Adama Barrow at the State House on Tuesday. The 2024 West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination results released last week saw a massive improvement in the number of students with 5 credits, according to MOPSI officials. The United Nations Gambia office commenced a 2-day national youth consultation on the Summit of the Future on Tuesday, ahead of the UN Summit of the Future scheduled for September this year. The Ministry of Tourism and Culture and its satellite institutes commenced a 2-day stakeholder engagement on Tuesday to discuss the challenges facing the sector and the steps needed to address them. In sports news, Gambian basketball youngster Amadou Keita was awarded the Most Valuable Player (MVP) accolade after his team emerged champions in Addis Ababa's First Division Basketball League in Ethiopia. These and other stories coming ahead in the next half an hour. To stay tuned. Thank you very much for staying with us. If you are just tuning in, this is QTV News. Now, the ambassadors of Chad, Spain and the UN resident coordinator presented their letters of credence to President Adama Barrow at the State House on Tuesday. Momodo Gajaga was there and he now reports.
The first diplomat to present her letters of credence to President Barrow was Kalzube Majimata, ambassador of the Republic of Chad, who will be based in Bamako, Mali. After a closed-door meeting with the president and speaking through an interpreter, she told reporters that the bilateral ties between Banjul and N'Djamena will continue to be strengthened for the benefit of the two nations.
Aujourd'hui, les hautes autorités tchadiennes, son Excellence Mohamed Idriss Déby,
the President of Chad, His Excellency Mohamed Idriss Déby, he said he wants to strengthen the existing relationship between the Gambia and Chad, and he wants to give it a new framework.
Il m'a fait l'honneur d'être désigné comme
he said she has been tasked to make sure that the relation between the Gambia and Chad is given a new dynamism.
Ce grand chantier, ce boulevard que nous ouvrons entre Banjul et N'Djamena.
The UN resident coordinator Carl Frederick Paul, also presenting his letters of credence, told the press that the United Nations office will continue to work with Gambia government in many intervention areas, including transitional justice, education and agriculture, amongst others.
Indeed, I just presented my letters of credence to His Excellency the President of the Republic, Mr. Adama Barrow, and it was a very warm welcome. We spoke about how we can continue to strengthen furthermore the relationship between the Banjul and New York, but also how the United Nations will continue to assist and bring its support to the development and achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals in the country.
Another diplomat to present her credentials was Maria Dolores Rios Pesed, ambassador of the Kingdom of Spain to the Gambia, who will be based in Dakar, Senegal. Afterwards, she told reporters that Spain is host to many Gambians, which shows strong ties between Banjul and Madrid, dating back decades.
We have had a very good conversation, very friendly. We have spoken of the excellent relations between the Gambia and Spain. We have more than 25,000 Gambians in Spain that are working very well and are fully integrated. The president has told me that they are happy there and that many of the Gambians that are here have relatives and friends in Spain. So the ties are very straight, and we would like to even make them tighter.
In a press release, the Gambia embassy in Madrid has announced that Spain's President Pedro Sanchez will arrive in the Gambia on Wednesday, the 28th of August 2024, for a 1-day official visit to meet his counterpart, President Barrow. Key among their discussions will be the circular labor migration scheme, which will enable Gambians to travel legally to Spain for seasonal employment. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Now, the 2024 West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination results released this week saw a massive improvement in the number of students with 5 credits, including English and Maths, according to MOPSI officials. Amadou Tamba attended a press briefing today at the Regional Education Office in Kanifing, and this is his report.
The West African Senior School Certificate Examination is a standardized exam for students in the English-speaking West African countries, namely Gambia, Ghana, Sierra Leone and Nigeria. Out of the 18,042 candidates from 148 senior secondary schools who register for the examination, 6,943 are male and 11,099 females. Candidates registered in 38 subjects including English language, mathematics and technical and vocational subjects, which brought about great improvement in both the technical subjects and maths. 23.8% of candidates got credits in maths, making it the highest achievement the subject has recorded over the last decade. Mr. Andrew Gomez is the Director of Performance, Monitoring and Evaluation at MOPSI.
On a gender basis, 598, representing 3.31%, male candidates had 5 credit passes and above in which English language and mathematics are included, while 791, representing 4.38%, female candidates had 5 credits and above in which English and mathematics are included.
This year's figures in the number of candidates with 5 credit or more represent significant improvements of 8.2% compared to last year's 2.8%. Also, investing in girl child education continues to yield fruits. 204 girls got 9 credits compared to 196 boys. Luis Moses Mendy, the Permanent Secretary of MOPSI, noted that the ministry will look into this and set plans to maintain the standards.
What we want as a sector is to produce an educated workforce that will be able to meet the demands of the development agenda of this country. By this, we want to ensure that anybody that goes through the educational system up to grade 12 would have been provided with a skill set or with some form of competence to be able to contribute to national development.
P.S. Mendy also commended the performance of schools in the rural areas.
Schools that topped the entire examination is New Strat School, Senior Secondary School. The next school that came on the ladder is Methodist Academy, where you had the top students coming from.
28 candidates from 13 senior secondary schools are suspected of having been involved in examination malpractice, and their results are withheld. So, what is their fate? Here is P.S. Mendy again.
When students are found wanting, their cases are looked at individually to have a determination or a conclusion on it. If it is so decided that the results must be disregarded, that means that students would not get results for that year.
According to officials, candidates with 5 credits, including both English and Maths, in this year's WAS has never happened over the last 13 years of the WAS exam in the Gambia. For QTV News, Amadou Tamba.
Congratulations to the students, and we wish them all the best in their future endeavors. Now, the United Nations Gambia office commenced a 2-day national youth consultation on the Summit of the Youth feature on Tuesday under the theme Our Common Agenda. As Usman Jata reports, the summit comes ahead of the UN Summit of the Future scheduled from the 22nd to the 23rd of September during the United Nations General Assembly High-Level Week.
In September, world leaders will convene at the United Nations to adopt the Pact for the Future, which will include a global digital compact and a declaration. The Summit of the Future is geared towards accelerating efforts to meet existing international commitments and to take concrete steps to respond to emerging challenges and opportunities. It is in line with this upcoming summit that these young people from across the country and the continent have converged to record their challenges, which will be presented at the upcoming global meeting. Carl Frederick Paul is the United Nations country coordinator.
To the young people gathered here, this is your moment. It's important to take advantage of this moment. Challenge us. Show us that the path to a more just, sustainable, and inclusive future is possible.
The UN Summit of the Future is a high-level event which brings together world leaders to forge a new international consensus on how the UN can deliver a better present and safeguard the future. Salimata A. Toure, Secretary General and the head of the Civil Service, emphasizes the need to recognize the significance of youth voices whose perspectives she described as integral in shaping the future of the country.
These consultations serve as a catalyst for a lasting transformation of Gambian youth and serves as a benchmark for youth involvement in our development trajectory.
The two-day youth consultation represents a critical opportunity that demonstrates the government and the UN's commitment to youth engagement and to position the Gambia as a leader in youth-driven development. Youth and Sports Minister Bakari Y. Baji noted that the country cannot develop without the full involvement of young people.
The Summit of the Future is not just about the future of the UN and the global economies, but it is also about the future of the global youth. The Gambia could therefore not have gone without consulting their young people.
Ajib Farmer Job and Usman Barrow, both participants, shared their thoughts on the two-day national youth consultations.
As youths, we have our problems. As a country, we have our problems. And I think it is better we sit down and discuss our problems, have a position paper that we can present, instead of just a group of people coming together and write down some things that are not that might not be important to us.
Part of the thematic areas I'm facilitating, I'm also interested, is the digital divide, which is affecting Gambia. But it is also said 2 billion people are unconnected. Gambia, we have significant challenge when it comes to cost, access to resources online, and also we have online safety, cyberbullying, everything is happening online. So it's important for us as young people, especially from a young woman, to be part of this thing, to share my ideas, my challenge, but also to create the future we want.
According to the UN, this once-in-a-generation opportunity is a moment to mend eroded trust and demonstrate that international cooperation can effectively achieve agreed goals and tackle emerging threats and opportunities. The event also saw a performance from the Bright Stars Entertainment Group. Osmal Jata, reporting for QTV News.
The report there will take us to a commercial break. When we return, we have local and sports news stories for you. To stay tuned.
Q Money ak Orange Money ñoo lëkkaloo pour yombalal leen yónnee xaalis bàyyi ko Gambia dem ba Sénégal ak Q Money wallet looy toog di xaar dawal léegi nga ubbi Q Money account pour nga mun a door di yónnee xaalis sa xarit ak sa mbokk yi jaarale ko Orange Money Sénégal léegi pour am si lu leer mun nga call Q Money customer care si 133 Q Money suñu kalpe lii dafa ànd ak sarta yuñ tëral.
Welcome to the future of transportation in the Gambia. The Bertel-Harding Highway, a 22-kilometer double carriageway, is set to revolutionize travel and connectivity in our beloved country. The Bertel-Harding Highway is transforming transportation in the Gambia with new roundabouts and vehicular overpasses. But safety must come first. Standing along the road or at roundabouts to flag down taxis creates unsafe conditions and unnecessary traffic jams. Remember, always board taxis at designated taxi garages or the garas located at major traffic points. Drivers stopping in no stopping zones will be penalized. Let's keep our roads clear and safe. Together, we can ensure a safe and efficient journey for all.
welcome back. If you are just tuning in, this is QTV News, and now to the rest of our stories. The Ministry of Tourism and Culture and its satellite institutes commenced a two-day stakeholder engagement on Tuesday to discuss the challenges facing the sector and the steps needed to address them. Lolly M. Kamara attended, and this is her report.
The tourism sector is a key contributor to the Gambia's economy, and the sector has faced many challenges and has still not fully recovered from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The event was attended by industry leaders, government officials, and representatives from tourism organizations. The discussions revolved around finding solutions to the issues hindering the growth of the tourism sector. In his opening address, the Minister of Tourism and Culture, Abdoulaye Diop, emphasized the importance of collaboration between the public and private sectors to overcome these challenges and ensure the continued success of the industry.
The reason now for coming here is not for us to talk till doomsday. No, but is to give you the opportunity to tell us what are your challenges and what do you think we can do to address them. Some of the problems or some of the challenges that we have, we will be able to address them at the level of GT board. Some of them will be able to address it at the level of the ministry. Some of them will be addressed at a higher level in cabinet.
Having visited some of the places being discussed, the minister revealed to participants the level of dilapidation at many of the sites and what could be done to improve them. Attendees also shared their insights and suggestions, having identified key areas for improvement and development.
Previously, before the establishment of the FSQA, that is the Food Safety and Quality Authority, we used to have a very close collaboration, that is the Ministry of Health plus the Tourism Board. But of recent, I have seen some lapses.
The town tours we do, really now they don't have a lot of built structure to take people to. Also, another problem that we've been trying to solve since I came is the amount of rubbish laying all around the town, the failure to implement a waste management strategy. So the product in Janjanbureh isn't improving.
Tourism is one of the largest and fastest growing sectors globally. However, although the Gambia has a long-established tourism industry which blossomed from the 1970s onwards, it has been overtaken by other destinations which started to grow at the same time. Research shows that in Africa, tourism has the potential to create about 3.8 million direct and indirect jobs. In the Gambia, the industry is set to directly employ 40,000 people. To become competitive worldwide, African governments and the private sector must work together in planning tourism infrastructure, promotion and financing to successfully tap into this ever-growing market. Thus, this engagement showcases the commitment and determination of all involved to drive the tourism industry forward and make it an even more thriving sector of the economy. Moving forward, Minister Diop assured the stakeholders of his ministry's readiness to work with them and provide support to improve the country's tourism sector. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
Now, in an interview with QTV, the country's foremost historian, Hassum Sisi, reveals that the Gambia government has signed two important UNESCO conventions to promote and protect the country's rich cultural heritage. Usman Jatta again.
UNESCO recognizes both tangible and intangible cultural heritage. The former include things such as cuisine, music and dance, while the latter can include monuments and sites. The Gambia, which bills itself as the smiling coast of Africa, is home to a rich and diverse cultural heritage, as well as many sites reflecting that heritage. These sites include the Wasu Stone Circles, the Mungo Park Memorial Obelisks in Kiankarantaba, James Island, now renamed Kunta Kinte Island, among others. Yearly, these heritage sites attract thousands of tourists, mostly from Europe. However, despite these numbers, many of the tourists coming to the Gambia come to enjoy the sun, sea and sun, as that is what the country's tourism offer has been geared towards. Hassum Sise, the country's most renowned historian, explains how the revival of these sites, two of which, the Wasu Stone Circles and Kunta Kinte Island, have been on the tentative list of UNESCO heritage sites since 2015 and could boost tourism in the country.
We have also done very well to refurbish, and rehabilitate two of our major stone circle sites at Kerbaj and at Wasu. Okay, because these are UNESCO World Heritage sites, they are of utmost interest. Now with Kunta Kinte Island, under the Tourism Resilience Project, we will soon start to work on rehabilitating and protecting the island.
The country's cultural heritage is as diverse as vibrant as its landscape, boasting a multicultural society. The government has signed two crucial UNESCO conventions to preserve the country's cultural heritage. Hassum Sise explains.
One is the UNESCO Convention on the Protection of Underwater Cultural Heritage. The River Gambia is full of sunken ships, about 200 years ago. So this rich underwater archaeological resource has to be protected. Also, the 1970 UNESCO Convention on the Prevention of Illicit Trafficking in Cultural Goods. Because people steal cultural items, to sell in the black market.
Cultural festivals also form a key part of the country's tourism cultural heritage. The Janjambure Kankurang Festival and the capital's New Year Cultural Festival are among the country's most famous festivals. Hassum explains what else is being done.
We are working in promoting, the Banjul, Cultural New Year Festival. And as we speak, there is a stakeholder, consultative process, going on how to better organize this festival.
Tourism is a crucial driver of growth in the Gambia, contributing 20% to the country's gross domestic product (GDP). The industry has over 40,000 people benefiting from direct employment. However, the emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic significantly affected the tourism sector. These efforts by stakeholders to revitalize the country's heritage sites are expected to contribute to efforts to revive the industry. Osman Jata reporting for QTV News.
The report there takes us to sports news. Now, Gambian basketball youngster Amadou Keita was awarded the Most Valuable Player (MVP) accolade after his team emerged champions in Addis Ababa's first division basketball league in Ethiopia. Our sports reporter Momodu Gajaga engaged him via Zoom, and this is his report.
Amadou Keita's scorching form as a basketball player continues, with him winning the Most Valuable Player (MVP) title in the 2022 Gambia Basketball League for Kutu Blue Ninjas, and now the Addis Ababa Basketball First Division League. Keita played briefly in Senegal before joining the Ethiopian League. He led Testis Ballers to the 2023-2024 League Championship, averaging 30 points per game. He was overjoyed with his success.
Yeah, it was a great achievement, leaving your country, going to another country where you might not even, I didn't even expect to be the most valuable player in this country. It was a big achievement for me because it's different people, different culture, and even the communication is a little bit difficult with the referees and other people. Some of them, they're English, they have their own language.
Basketball in the Gambia faces challenges such as insufficient infrastructure, poor league organization, and lack of player incentives. There are no effective grassroots initiatives to develop players. Some of the reasons, according to Keita, why he had to look for other alternatives to pursue his dream.
To me, it's a great opportunity, and that goes to every player back home. It doesn't matter where you are going to play in Africa or any part of the world. If you want to become an athlete, you need to get up and make your own routes to find a way to become a proper athlete.
Winning MVP in the Addis Ababa A-League will raise Keita's profile and provide more opportunities, as clubs in Ethiopia's professional league are considering offering him a contract.
At this point, most of the Premier League teams want me to be part of their teams. I just want to see the contracts they want to give me, the arrangements, before I participate in any of those teams. Some of the coaches already approached me through messages and through physically, but I want to see what the contracts is going to look like before I jump into the Premier Leagues.
Ethiopia appears to be an appropriate option for Keita to pursue his basketball goals at this stage of his development. However, he is getting closer to moving to the next stage of his career. The Gambian basketball youngster hopes to play in larger and better leagues if the opportunity arises.
I'm trying to get to bigger leagues. I try to showcase my talent to the outside world. I don't just want to stick to the African leagues, and I want to go to where basketball is really huge and it's making a lot of money. And I want to get myself into those stages where the world can recognize me.
The Gambia national basketball team represent the Gambia in international competitions. The team's best international performance to date was 9th place at the 1978 African Basketball Championship, which was won by host Senegal. The last time the country's national team attempted to qualify for the official African Basketball Championship was in 2005. The best-known basketball player with Gambian roots is NBA player Dennis Schroeder, whose mother was born in the Gambia, now plays for NBA team the Brooklyn Nets. Who knows, perhaps one day, Amadou Keita may one day emulate or surpass Schroeder's achievements. Mamadou Gajaga, KTV News.
The report there by Mamadou Gajaga brings us to the end of this bulletin. Do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.